guys, welcome back to Follow the Ad. We're going to react to Jordan Peterson, No One Gets Away with Anything.
Seriously.
So this is from the channel Evolve Your Mind, and we wanted to react to something different. So what the hell, Jordan Peterson gets a lot of views on his videos. I think we all know who he is. I've heard him before, of course, but I haven't heard this particular talk. And Sandy knows of him, but hasn't really heard much at all, so I figured this would be cool to introduce her. So are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get some wisdom.
Why doesn't anyone ever get away with anything? That's one of your lines.
Well, I think, imagine you have a plastic ruler, you know, and you pull it back in front of your face. And you let go. It's like, you think, well, this is going pretty well so far. Right. Snap. Yeah, well, it's because you can't bend the structure of reality. And this is, I think, also partly what in this message is frightening. Everything that you distort snaps back, and often magnified, and everyone knows that. And one of the things I discuss with my audience is like, well, just think about how you talk to people that you're trying to treat properly. You don't say to them, okay, here, kid, here's the way you deal with life. This is, you put your son on your knee and say, look, lie every chance you get. Falsify things. Don't take any responsibility for anything. If you can slough it off to someone else, if you can hide things where no one will find them, that's a hell of a good strategy. Like, no one believes that, ever. So we know that that doesn't work. Now, we're tempted because now and then you think, well, I can just cut a corner here, or I can get away with this and no one will find out. It's like, yeah, they will. They'll find out, or you'll find out. And I saw this in my clinical practice all the time. You know, people would be suffering for some consequence a lot, and we'd untangle it. Maybe we'd go back 5 years or 10 years, and it would be something that was left undone, something that was done that shouldn't have been done, and sometimes not even on the part of the person, you know, sometimes on the part of their parents, or maybe even on the part of their grandparents. Like, these things stick around for a very long period of time. But it's like, if you produce a rift in the structure of reality, it's not going to go away until you rectify it, and often it breeds more demons, that's for sure.
I think that people only don't believe that when they're being hubristic. And I think that most people know that deep in their hearts. You know, when you get high on your horse, that happens fairly often. If you have any sense, you think, geez, I better be careful and tap myself down a fair bit, because if I get too puffed up, man, something's going to come along and take me out at the knees. And everyone knows that. Pride comes before a fall. And that's why it says in the Old Testament that fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. I've never, in all my years as a clinical psychologist, and this is something that really does terrify me, I have never seen anyone ever get away with anything at all, even once. You know, there's that old idea that God has a book, you know, and keeps track of everything in heaven. It's like, okay, you know, maybe it's not a book. Fine. But that is a really useful thing to think about, because, well, maybe you disagree. Maybe you think people get away with things all the time. I tell you, I've never seen it. What I see instead is that thing happens, right? Someone twists the fabric of reality. And they do it successfully because it doesn't snap back at them that moment. And then like 2 years later, something unravels. And they get walloped and they think, oh my God, that's so unfair. And then we track it. It's like, well, what happened before that? This. Well, and then what? This. And then what? This. And then what? Oh, this. Well, that's where it went wrong. It's, yeah, because you can't twist the fabric of reality without having it snap back. It doesn't work that way, and why would it? Because what are you going to do? Twist the fabric of reality? I don't think so. I think it's bigger than you. You know, and I think that one of the things that really tempts people is the idea that, well, I can get away with it. It's like, yeah, you try. You see how well that works. It's like you get away with nothing. And that is the beginning of wisdom. And it's something that deeply terrifies me. And we walk on a very thin and narrow edge. And we're very lucky when things aren't degenerating into chaos around us, or rapidly moving to far too much order. And it's not an easy thing to stay on that line. And you can tell when you're on that line, because the things are deeply meaningful and engaging when you're on that line. But if you're not existentially terrified about the consequences of wavering off that, then you are truly not awake. Stay awake. Speak properly. Be honest, or watch the hell out. Because things will come your way that you just do not want to see at all. And it might not just be you, it might be everyone you know and everything about your culture that is demolished for generation after generation. It's like, stay awake and be careful.
Wow.
Wow.
The ending there was powerful.
Wow. Well, you know, we've talked about things like this, you know, not getting away with things because you don't know the consequences of poor decision making. You may not know until later, way later in your life, years later.
It's funny how human brains work, that they don't want to get consequences of, they try to get away, don't want to get consequences, something bad or sneaky they did, but they're so looking forward to consequences of something good they did.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I think it works the same way with good, when you do something good, you can't get away with the consequences of goodness too.
Mm.
That's when you get something, wow, this is great, right? But then when you do something bad, you also can't get away with consequences.
So that's why it's important to live by some kind of moral code.
Yeah.
Which I've always admired about you, because you have morals that you stick by.
Oh, I try.
And no matter what, you always try to do, like, really think through your actions and, like, do the right thing by yourself and people and speak honestly. You try to do that, right? Be honest.
Be honest, and I'm always like aware of my action, just because I know that for me it's not like I try to be aware of my action or my thought or my words because I'm such a good person, I have such a high moral, but I don't want to regret.
Yeah.
This is both with like if I want to get back or not, you know, because I want to make sure that if I'm gonna get back, I want to make sure that I make the right decision.
Yeah.
So I always hold it first, hold it, and then you wait. It's, you know.
I understand. Makes sense.
Yeah. Wow. He's. I feel like now he's become more popular, but I still feel like he's still not that famous. What he's supposed like deserve.
I don't know. I think he's pretty famous now.
Pretty big. I mean, not in how you call it, like commercial style.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I kind of disagree, but yeah, I think he has a lot of wisdom to share. You know, if you just leave out all the political stuff and all the controversy he's been associated with, if you just listen to him talk about life in general, he can be pretty helpful. So that's all. It was cool. It was good to listen to. I'm glad you liked it. Took something out of it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. More Jordan Peterson to come, perhaps. Maybe some more reactions to him and other influential figures and smart people. And take care of yourselves. Until next time.